what's going on, people? You remember me, the old school Rilzio from Headroom Productions. Yeah, I think I'm gonna listen to my favorite show. You know what it is? The Monster Sci-Fi Show Podcast. Sci-fi from a certain point of view.
Hello and welcome again to the Monster Sci-Fi Show Podcast. I am your host, The Monster, back with another show, but this time it's a even better show. This is my first Skype podcast, not with my co-host, Mr. Gene, but my cousin, Ralph, who is my co-host for this week. So, say hi, Ralph.
Hello, everyone. Yippee. It's so good to be here.
Yippee?
Yippee.
Really? Yeah.
No, I'm really happy to be here. It's the type of thing we've discussed trying to do this for a while.
Many times.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually went out. I mean, I've had my own podcast, so to speak. It was a short-lived one, but we plan on coming back. Headroom, baby. But you know, it's the type of thing that I said, let me go out and get a mic so I can just plug it into the computer and I can Skype with you. You know, I'm in New York, you're in Florida, and you know, it's.
And if you can't tell the difference, then that's good to you.
Exactly.
So, and that was the one thing that I've been trying to do with Gene for a while is get at least us to Skype this call. So that's all I want to do. But again, his schedule is just not working right now.
Listen, technology makes it easier nowadays. It's just a question of finding the time to do it, and it'll happen. Hey, listen, I'd love to speak to both of you guys. I mean, you know, it's the type of thing. I know my input is not exactly as nerdy as you guys.
No. But the thing is, you do have a great insight, at least on the video game side, in which that's what I wanted to bring in, is to explore a lot more of the gaming stuff. Because, you know, even though we do play, you're a lot more technical on that side than I am. So I definitely want to use your expertise.
I've owned every system. Like, literally every
system. Yes. Well, except for, I don't believe you ever had the Intellivision.
No, I was waiting for you to give me yours.
No, there was no way that was going to happen.
I always got the hand-me-downs. It's all right, though. I'll take
But did you get ColecoVision?
I had ColecoVision. You had a Commodore 64, I believe, no?
No, I had the 128 that operated in the 64 mode, which is the sucky part. Because I'm like, you would think, it's going to be twice as good as a Commodore 64. No, it only best operated because they never wrote damn programs for the Commodore 128. So you can put it into 64 mode and play all the other games, but come on, man. This
Sex
is like
games, yeah, baby, for the win.
Yeah, all text.
All text. Ultima 5.
There's a naked lady standing in front of you. What do you want to do? Question mark.
What do you think?
Take off all your clothes.
You know, it's funny. They've tried to rehash some of those games. There's like a game
called Zork. I'm sorry. I don't have that much of an imagination to really get and really immersed. I don't get that. I can't.
It's well, now immersion. Now it's all about immersion. I mean,
well, that's different. Yeah, text is one thing. What you're talking about is the completely total immersion.
Yeah, but people did listen even back then. I mean, we broke night many a night playing stupid little stick figures. Strikeouts. What was it that the Intellivision, the first video game system to actually
They use a speaker thing, and the famous commercial they used, it was some kind of B-17 bomber. So every time you fly over this certain point and you just send your bombs, it will say "bombs away," and that's it. Okay, so
and that was the coolest shit. It was like, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me if I get a little bit vulgar, but I have a tendency to get a little bit.
No, not a tendency. You will be cursing a lot. But yeah, that was one of the cool aspects of, now my game can talk to me, sort of. Or when we're playing baseball, you're out.
You're out. So, and I was always the one on the receiving end of the you're outs.
Yeah, well, but you know, but for the most part, what I think was kind of the lamest part is when they tried to expand the Intellivision or the ColecoVision to have computer add-ons. I think the add-on was for ColecoVision, and then they added this weird, I don't know what they called the computer version for the Intellivision, but it wasn't a big deal. But the add-on was really cool because you had a printer that came along with that add-on. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, please. And the stupid the floppy drives. Oh god, it was horrible.
Mm-hmm. And how many times
load star, 8,1. Yes, I do remember.
I mean, I got a gold star in high school because I knew BASIC, because I taught myself how to do that. So I was really good at BASIC, but who the hell uses BASIC anymore?
I know that. Well, listen.
Well,
at least you know something,
right? Not anymore. That's the problem. That's all gone. So, because we were back in the days when we were using the Commodore VIC-20 and a 64 and a 128. There was a Commodore magazine that would have programs that you can download, but download is a little bit different. You had to type what you were going to eventually put on your computer and then record it using magnetic tapes.
Yes. Oh my god.
And then play it back on your system. But you would have to make sure at the very end you hit this kind of checksum program to make sure everything was done correctly.
Right.
Because the typing part was just enormous. It would take forever, but you would get these free games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the only way is to get this downloaded was you had to type the whole program out. So that was kind of cool.
Damn, we should have stuck with it, man. We could have been like Steve Jobs and Wozniak.
Oh, Wozniak, please. So how'd that turn out? No, thank you.
At least he gets free iPhone. Oh, no, I think he pays for them, actually. Never mind.
Yeah, actually, he does.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about a couple of things. My normal stuff would be tidbit news, which would talk about a couple of quick items, and then talk about the big three for the podcast. So in this case, let's start off with Star Trek 3 being finally sort of having an official title called Star Trek Beyond.
Beyond.
Oh
my.
Beyond what?
Beyond what? Beyond my ignorance. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible. Oh no! I didn't know that they were making. Is this a J.J. Abrams, another one from him, or?
No, because JJ's busy doing Star Wars.
Oh, that's true.
So,
that's true. When
right.
you cried on it. Yeah. So I don't know too much about it. Explain to me, Ricky.
Okay. Well, we have the director from the Fast and Furious, or the Furious 7, is going to be helming this new movie, and Simon Pegg is one of the writers for the new movie title, and he kind of leaked it out a couple of days ago that it looks like this is going to be the official title. Now, in all honesty, back in the days when we saw Star Trek as movies, Star Trek 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, at least there was a little bit more interesting titles. But, the last one, Into Darkness, and now Beyond, it doesn't seem very imaginative to me. So I think it's a franchise. Go ahead.
Where is it supposed to take place? Is it after, because obviously Kirk is gone.
Well, we're kind of looking at a 5-year mission that they talked about in the last movie, Into Darkness.
Oh, okay.
Kind of now taking place, so we're going to see something different, something new, because Simon Pegg did not want to have the whole let's see this again character. We already did it with Khan, and with Idris Elba now in the lead, supposedly, we're going to get a brand new character. So what that character is, if he is ruling out possibly Klingons, I think we're not going to see Klingons.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is going to be, but
yeah, but it has to be something that's still recognizable, or at least mentioned.
I would think so, but I think the problem lies is that because we're looking at a 5-year mission, it's an open slate, so to speak. Because we do have an alternate.
Yeah.
We have an alternate universe, so who knows what we're going to be seeing. I just hope it's not like, I don't know. I'm really blanking out on the whole Star Trek future right now.
That's because you have Star Wars on your mind.
Yes, I do. Which actually, in
it's
all
funny,
fairness,
I was typing in Star Wars, and don't ask me why, but Star Wars came up first on my freaking on my Google. I'm like, what the hell? I never looked up Star Wars.
What a big stretch on your Google history. But have you seen the reboot and the last movie, or
I have, and I've heard on your show. I am a listener of your show, and
that's the one we got.
I am third, fourth person, but it's all good. And I've heard you comment. I loved that movie. I loved it.
The last one?
Yes. And I think Gene is on my side on this one. No.
Do I need to end this podcast right now?
I'm sorry. It clicked for me. I liked it.
Really?
I mean, but again, I'm not your typical, and I'm a Trek. Listen, I know I've watched every episode, multiple times of every, Deep Space Nine, all of them.
No, I know.
No,
I know you've watched as much as I have, but my thing is just because I felt gypped with that whole Khan thing, and we were told that we're not getting that. I thought that was just really... You said you weren't going to get Khan, and then we got it, and it wasn't even that well done.
And it wasn't the way I wanted it. Damn you bastards.
You took my money for nothing.
You took my money.
You shot people. But to me, that's what I felt more like. Yeah, the kids liked it. Those who don't like Star Trek liked it. So basically,
sounds like someone's getting old.
Basically, yeah. I'm in the minority now. But back in my day, Khan was really great. And no one's gonna say, it's like, who the hell are you talking about, Khan?
I've enjoyed all of them pretty much, except for what was it, The Undiscovered Country? No, I don't remember which one, but I know one was really, really bad.
Well, there was a couple. I mean, if we're going to pick, I would say not even the first one. The first one, as slow as it was, it really got better if you ever get to see the director's cut of the motion picture one, the very first one. But the Shatner's version, The Final Frontier, that, I think, really put things into perspective that he should not be directing any Star Trek stories. And two, the franchise was really kind of getting old. Because we've been through that area before, but then Shatner's kind of revisiting
this. At that point?
It was. I mean, luckily they went out on a good, strong sixth movie, The Undiscovered Country. And it was a great story because Nicholas... oh my God, I'm blanking on his last name. All I know is Nicholas. It's not Nicolas Cage.
No, my name is Nicholas.
No, but they brought the director from Star Trek 2, Nicholas Myers, who also directed Time After Time, which is a really good sci-fi movie. He was brought back to direct the sixth movie, and it was a great story. And then from there, we get Next Generation, which kind of was a little bit uneven, but compared to everything else, that was it's definitely watchable. But Nemesis, the last Next Gen movie, was horrendous because if it was supposed to be the swan song for the Next Gen crew to go out, it was just like the whole clone thing was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. So. Well,
so,
in certain things, but for the most part, I'm still more of a Trekkie than I am a Star Wars fan. But it's okay. I love Star Wars too.
Right. Now here's a stupid thing. If we're Trekkers and Trekkies for Star Trek, what do we call Star Wars fans? I still don't know that answer.
Starskis?
Starskis and Huskies? Really?
Exactly. Wow, I don't know.
Because I've seen people call themselves Jedis and Sith, but I'm like, it doesn't really work for me, or Wookiees, or... It doesn't sum up what that fan is of that movie or that genre. So I don't know what Star Wars fans call themselves. So
you're right. You're absolutely right. Now, now you've always been more of a Star. I mean, you own it on Laserdisc for
Lasers of the unedited version of Star Wars back in the days when lasers, the 12-inch disc that you had to flip about 20 minutes into the damn movie.
20 minutes, oh my God.
Yeah, not the later models in which it will play both sides,
right?
But then you still had, on average, 4 to 6 discs, depending on the length of the movie. But I would plop down, $100 here and there just so I can have that damn movie.
Tower
but
Records,
it was Letterboxd.
Baby. Was it Tower Records?
Well, I didn't go to Tower Records. I had HMV.
Oh, HMV. That's the other one. Right.
Which I love because since I bought so much crap, I was able to get more free stuff, too. So I built up a really good Laserdisc collection, and I still have them, but my Laserdisc player is just not working, so I'm kind of like hesitant to kind of throw it out. So.
And they don't exactly have those corner shops anymore that used to bring in TV.
You fix them, right? Exactly.
Not exactly.
So I'm going to have to look on YouTube and see how to fix my own stuff, because I really don't want to get rid of it, especially since a lot of people like the unaltered version.
Oh, absolutely. I can't. I hate the stupid I was talking about it with you earlier about the digital version of Star Wars that's coming out now. It's like I thought that they would still have like the original come out, but you're telling me that I guess that's never going to happen.
Yeah, it's probably never going to happen to have the unaltered, the first edition of the first release in which Han shot first. That kind of fun stuff. That we're not going to see that. So we'll see what happens.
Did he destroy them or?
I don't think he destroyed them. I just think because, and this is a good segue, if you get a chance to watch The People versus George Lucas, it's a great documentary on Netflix, but at this very point about why is it that George Lucas, who was a defender of preserving films, and meaning not to be altered or touched, colorized or anything like that, does, for his own movies, keeps adding stuff to these things. Re-editing.
It makes no sense.
I mean, I get the idea why he's doing it, because the technology did not exist.
No, but it's almost like because you're alienating freaking tons of people. But now you're doing it on purpose just to mess with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's your first F-bomb, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry. It's like,
all right.
Sometimes you can't.
No, I know. And then how many times did we buy this on VHS, and then on DVD, and then on Blu-ray? Oh, sorry. Let me put that on. VHS. Let me start over again. Betamax.
There you go.
VHS, VHS-S, and then you had the Laserdisc, the DVDs, the Blu-ray, and now digital. Oh, so how many times are we going to give our money for the exact same movie in a different format? It gets to be too much.
I would absolutely give it if it was what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? That original. That's
different. Yeah.
And I definitely pay that $100 for that.
Yeah. But, like I said, it's probably never going to happen in our lifetime. Unless I can get my Laserdisc player to work again, we'll never see it.
Well, I'll take a look at it for you next time I'm there, but whatever.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. I am not sure how much of an anime fan you are, but the next thing that I wanted to talk about was a series that my daughter has been talking to me about and she loves, and she's been trying to get me to watch, and I've watched half of the first episode, which I do like. It's called Attack on Titan.
Now, this is a Japanese animation?
It's I believe it was a manga first, and it was adapted into an anime. So basically, it's a world in which this, I guess, city is walled in on purpose because there's these creatures, these titans that are giants that live outside the city, outside the walls, that have attacked. So they've been in this kind of like isolated world from these giants, and they do fight against them. But it's interesting because it's been multi-generations as to when this all started. So people who are living there have no idea why this is still going on. They just accept this as normal life. They do fight the Titans at times, but now, due to the popularity, there's now a live-action series of that anime and manga series. So it's something that when I saw this, I'm like, oh my god, this looks really intense. I think there was even a Japanese car commercial that used Titans in their commercial. Wow. So I thought that was kind of cool that they're doing this. But if you haven't seen it, you can. I think it's even on Hulu or Netflix.
I'll peek at it. But the question is: this the first time they're delving into this type of taking an animation like that and turning it into a real live action, or?
Well, for me, the first time that I heard about an anime series that I watch or anime movie that was turned into live action was something called Wicked City. This is way back, I think, early 90s. And Wicked City was actually a cool movie, but the problem lied because of all the strangeness of what an anime movie has with their what's the hentai, which is like weird creatures with tentacles and what they do to little girls and all that. It's kind of hard to replicate that in a different format where you have live action, because it looks kind of hokey, it looks a little campy, it looks kind of weird when they do that. And it's kind of progressed. I mean, do you remember Star Blazers growing up? They did a live action Star Blazers, and I was able to find that on YouTube, which you can see that, and it looks really great. I mean, even the captain with the beard and the hat, and it looked exactly like the damn series. So I'm really excited about that, but I don't have I don't see a subtitle for that. I just have the regular Japanese edition.
You better learn how to speak Japanese then, buddy.
You think so, huh?
Watashi.
But when it's done well like that, yeah, I'm all on board.
I think what would make a great translation, like let's say you take Ninja Scrolls, that would translate well, I think. Mm-hmm. Because it's easy to, there's a lot of action and stuff, and easy to do a ninja. You know what I'm saying? Are you familiar with Ninja Scrolls at all?
No, not at all.
Oh man, it's one of the goriest Jap animations that I've ever seen, and it's old. I think it's 80s almost, or maybe late 80s. Right. I'm not sure, but check it out when you get a chance. I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The YouTubes.
Your YouTubes on the interwebs. You guys. So when I saw the trailer again for the Attack on Titans, I'm just like, I really want to have other shows that we watched back in the 80s kind of be either updated or made into a new series for the big screen. Do you remember the Mighty Orbots?
Oh my god, yeah.
Go, Mighty Orbots.
I didn't remember the song, but okay.
Nerd.
I like girls.
Oh, I like girls too on TV that look like robots.
Yes, you like them to look like Wonder Woman.
Well, who doesn't?
That's true.
Seriously, no one said no to that. But my thing is, like, they have a lot more stuff that we saw growing up that would definitely work for a big screen. Voltron would be great.
Man. Yes.
But honestly, the only time it would only work, how many times did their butt get kicked because they were not in the robot form?
Exactly.
So every single time, let's all attack at the same time. No, not unless we're in a robot form does that ever work out for us. Individually, we suck, but...
Exactly. So, when they were wait a second, the tigers, they were the tigers, right?
No, they were lions.
Lions,
okay. Right. And tigers. Oh my.
Yeah, and they also they sucked when they were in their lion form or whatever. But.
Yeah. So, but still, I think that would be a great adaptation to see live action. The Thundercats, maybe. I know they redid the animated series for Cartoon Network, which I didn't get to see because I don't have cable, and I would love to watch that again.
Oh, you know what I would love to see?
What?
Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
Believe it or not, there are rumors. I think it is going to become. No. They are remaking it. Marty said, and so Marty Croft. Yeah, no, it's coming. It's got a lot of the stuff that we grew up with are being rebooted, and that's one of them. Awesome.
I tried to watch some of the things, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like almost acid trippy to watch.
Mm-hmm. Now, for me, I would love to watch the Shazam and Mighty Isis Power Hour.
Yes.
But more on ISIS, not Shazam, because
no Electro
Mr.
Woman and Dinah Girl?
There is something out there. There
You're
is
kidding
a
me.
sort of reboot. No, I kid you not.
Oh,
So
crap.
it's a lot of stuff that we grew up on that it's a lot of fun to go back to and watch again, but they're kind of tapping into that. And a lot of the stuff that we saw in the 80s are being remade into movies.
Well, they're running
now.
out of shit, so they have to, delve
Right.
into
So this is
other
right.
things.
So this is their decade to do that. So, but it's fine. That's what we want to see anyway.
I mean,
so.
even music is doing it. They've run out of things to do, so they have to. Yeah, it's the worst when I hear these kids like singing a song or whatever, and it's like something that's been done already, or a piece of it that's been done, and they have no idea. You play the original and like, oh wow, look, is that a new song?
No, that's called Wham.
Ay.
Anyway, so the last tidbit news is going to be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finally has a spinoff, but the spinoff is going to be, now we have 2 confirmed actors. And I know we talked briefly about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with you, but you haven't watched anything since the first season.
First season, first few episodes. I was so frustrated in the beginning of watching that. Honestly, I was waiting to see a superhero. I'm like, when is something going to happen? Anything. Like, I don't like that backstory. But I guess it's different now. I have to get back into it and watch it, I would assume.
Yeah. The problem, I think, for them is that they kind of were relying on Coulson, who we loved in all the movies, for the Marvel movies, to be the person that we would focus on. Why is he there? Play off that mystery, and then within that, we get the cast of characters. And even then, I'm like, I couldn't care about anyone. And the reveal for Coulson, I was not even there. So you had kind of weak story ideas, you had weak characters, and then this went on. So I, like you, I quit about a couple of episodes in. Now, my friend David, who I work with, and he told me when we were doing a table at Florida SuperCon, said, you got to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because by that time, Captain America, the Winter Soldier had came out. And what happened there affected the show. So about halfway through the show, it became really great. So I was kind of reluctant, and him and I finally got to that point. I sat down and watched it, and I got to that point, and I finished that whole season, and I was like, wow, this was really good.
Really?
So I think, if you give it a shot, you will be able to enjoy it. Did you see Captain America yet?
Yes, I did, and that was
okay.
That was great. I loved it.
Okay. All right. So basically, you know what happens there. So the events that happen do work better for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because now they have something to focus on. And that's, I think, the success for it to be a decent show. Not a great show, but a decent show. Second season starts off great, but we're going into an area which they're kind of setting up for a future movie for the Inhumans. So that's kind of interesting, but now I'm kind of wondering, because they're kind of running out of ideas, or at least what they can show before the next Avengers movie comes out.
Right.
So unlike the last season, what happened in Captain America fueled the last half of that season. We're almost done with season 2, and it's not really firing all cylinders. It's kind of like it's slow towards the ending. So unless it's going to be a big, surprise at the end, so far it's not ending great. But still, it's enough for me to watch, and at least for me to recommend, especially to you, give it another shot.
I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. I'll make it my... But I have so many things to catch up on. Ugh.
I know. We both do. I mean, I'm watching an old show a couple of years ago called Workaholics on Comedy Central.
Oh, I love that.
And I'm almost done with season 1, and I think it's hysterical. I love that, that kind of humor. Yeah. And I need that right now.
Absolutely, me too. That's what I'm saying. It's just too much, man. I mean,
yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. We will. So, but the latest news is that they are going to have a spinoff, and two of the characters that are on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now are going to somehow go to this new spinoff series. I don't know what they're going to call it, but at this point, I don't think it's strong enough as a franchise to say, now you can have these characters do other things. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's pretty ballsy of them to think that they could just do that right now and then.
Yeah, it doesn't work. And just like what you're talking about, there are no powers. There's sort of powers, but not powers. Excuse me. So I'm really thinking this is not a good idea at this time. I mean, it's good enough to watch, but to watch another series based on this world they're doing, no. It doesn't work for me right now. So, all right. All right, so for right now, we're going to take a quick little break before we get into our big three topics. So, again,
you mean I can go pee-pees now?
You can go pee-pees, 3-piece, 4-piece, whatever you want. So we'll be back in a moment.
Sounds good.
And we're back once again with the Monster Sci-Fi Show. My host for this week is my cousin Ralph.
Oh, hello everybody.
We're going that way, okay.
It's your Japanese cousin. No,
Japanese cousin, Rafa-san. Ha ha. All right, so the big three that I want to talk about is the Arrow Flash spinoff. The whole big issue now that Bobby Drake, Iceman, is now gay. And the segment that we really want to focus on is the big one, which is a DLC and a DRM, which is the downloadable content and digital rights management. But DLC is a big issue, especially for him, for my cousin, because he's much more of a gamer. And really, what's DLC? Downloadable content, and we'll talk about that in just a minute.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
So go out to your windows and yell. All right. So you haven't seen all of Arrow.
Right. I've seen. See, Arrow looks like a show that I could definitely get into. But again, it's the type of thing that I just don't have the time right now. I'm not even caught up on Game of Thrones. Come on. And
well, no, because you're
4 episodes of that.
I know, but your fault is that you got to see Game of Thrones backwards.
Oh, because yes! That's horrible. It blew it for me, dude. It totally blew it.
Yeah, because you picked it up on season 3 or whatever the Red Wedding was.
And the way HBO Go sets it, it's like from the newest first, and I was like, and I'm watching almost the whole thing, and I'm like, what the hell is happening here? This is crazy. But Arrow, so I think it's a great show. But again, it hasn't pulled me in enough that I'm like, I gotta watch this, you know? There's certain
right.
shows that do that, and that's not one of them, to be honest with you.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say real quick, you talked about how this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. lacked kind of like the superheroes or the powered people. Arrow does delve into that. In fact, second season, I think more so, because the Flash does become part of that series for a little bit, and then things kind of take off from that point on. So I think you're definitely going to enjoy that series more so than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., just for that power aspect.
Right.
So.
Right. Which, you mentioned Flash. I've also actually watched the first episode of Flash, and, I was getting a little bit... Because I listen, I even love the old one. What was oh gosh, I forgot.
The original, the one with John Wesley Shipp.
Yes.
The one who plays the dad.
Yes.
For Gus, yes.
And to me, the only thing is, like, it didn't seem as fun as that one. This one doesn't seem like it's going to be as...
But believe it or not, I think it's even more fun, because whereas there were some comedic overtones in the original series, I think the Flash himself has to have a sense of fun, and we see that a lot more. And the cast of characters, namely Cisco, who is really geeky for all of us, really gets the sense of what it is to have fun with this show. And him and the Flash new character, I think will wow you with the fun aspect.
I have a lot of catching up to do.
Yes, you do.
And
so
listen,
on top of that,
listen for your recommendations, because I do agree with a lot of the things that you say, and I'm going to let you slide on the whole Star Trek, but whatever.
Yeah, I'll let you slide on the whole Star Trek because you're my cousin. Whatever.
but yeah, definitely these are the type of things I you know what? Listen, every night I go to bed and I put my iPad on. Yes, I have an iPad. I'm not an i guy like you, but I do have an iPad because that is it is the shit.
It is.
And iPad Air at that. Whoa. So
wow.
Definitely, I'm gonna load them up there and start watching those for sure. They're both on Netflix, correct?
Netflix has season 1 and 2. Yeah, and then Hulu has 1 and 2 plus whatever the current episode, but that's only if you have Hulu Plus.
So which you can lend me your account, but it's cool. Okay, what?
What?
No, I think I have an explain around for that.
Right, but as we were talking about, this series, both of them combined, have put out more powered figures from DC in the episodes. Just to kind of give you a heads up, there is an appearance of Firestorm. There is the Atom. We see Heatwave, Captain Cold, Black Canary. But the future ones, which they have yet to do, is going to be possibly on Hawk Girl.
Ooh.
And possibly another character, finally someone who has color and powers, is going to be possibly Static Shock or Black Vulcan.
What is he, Tuvok?
No, not Tuvok. But I don't know if you remember watching Batman Beyond, but Static Shock in the future becomes part of the Justice League. And I thought that was kind of cool because this is a character from the comic books that was able to cross over and make it into an animated series who is a minority character, which is like, finally, to me, and I'll talk about the issue in just a moment, but it's nice to see not only just women with power, women that look, as strong and smart as the male counterparts, but someone that is representing us, minorities, the ethnic. So
sexy
those who are,
and smart.
Not only that, but, I want to see a Puerto Rican, on the screen too. I mean, yeah, we get Miles Morales, who's half Puerto Rican and half black, but that's as close as we're going to get to have a Puerto Rican, superhero that doesn't steal stuff,
Cat Man. Switchblade Man.
But seriously, and I think that's what to me, it irks me more now, being much older and still love comic books, is the lack of representation that I see on the screen. And I don't know how you feel on the subject.
I wouldn't have noticed if you didn't point it out to me, because we're so brainwashed into thinking a certain, linear thought on how a character is supposed to be. So now that you're pointing it out, you're absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? But when you take characters like, let's say when they what was it? Oh gosh, who's the character now that a black actor is playing a white character? What is that? Oh gosh, I'm at a loss here. And you spoke about it on one of your shows. Is it Fantastic Four? No.
Yeah, well, Fantastic Four, the Human Torch, Johnny Storm, is being played by a not black actor, which I'm escaping the name, but he was in a movie called that movie. Yeah, that one.
but that's what I'm.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when you make it so obvious and you do it like that, that seems wrong. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think Puerto Ricans need to be in everything. Listen, we're the best. Viva Puerto Rico. Yo hablo español.
See. But that's the weird thing. Is that people get upset that this is supposed to be a white actor in this white role. Heimdall in the Thor movie was white, but in the movie he was played by a black actor, by Idris Elba. The black stormtrooper that people freaked out in the trailer for the first blew the. I had this one guy come up to me at work. It's like, I thought stormtroopers were all white. And I'm like, okay, to a degree you're right, but this is not in that context.
Right. Exactly.
And
that's what I'm saying. It's
right. He's someone who's pretending to be one, and he's in that suit, just like Luke Skywalker was in The New Hope and trying to rescue the princess. So I don't know why people freak out when you decide to change the context of that character to a different color or to a different gender.
They're not used to it. People aren't used to that. You know what I'm saying? Imagine trying to make Luke Skywalker an Asian dude or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just, in people's eyes, it wouldn't work, you know?
No, I know. But, my idea is that, well, what if you change the gender? What if Luke Skywalker was the ambassador, or the Prince Leia version, and then you had Leia be Skywalker working on a farm, and she's the hero of the story and not Luke, or vice versa. I thought that would be kind of an interesting, not that it's going to ever happen, but sometimes I think we have to look beyond what we had grew up with to kind of look things at a different way, kind of like sci-fi from a certain point of view.
Exactly.
Which is, oddly enough, my podcast.
That's why it's a great show, actually, because it is from a certain point of view. So
it's all screwed out.
Listen, I agree. Okay. I'm with you. But most people aren't, and most people freak out over stupid little things.
Right. Now, which leads into the next day. The big news that came out this week was the fact that Iceman, Bobby Drake...
Was that a rapper?
Yeah, it's a rapper from Canada. Who is revealed to be gay. Now... Ooh, gay. G-A-Y.
G-A-Y.
So, when we're growing up, and I'm not making light of our situation, but, we grew up in a time in the 80s where we did, have this prejudice against gays. We made fun of the gays. It was not something that we were as open as we are right now.
Right. Well, I didn't make fun of you that much.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding. He's very hetero.
He's very hetero. Really. I am. I have 2 kids. I have a wife, too.
Hey, you don't need...
That makes me...
That doesn't matter. You can't say that anymore. No. I have 2 kids
and I have a cat. Oh, that makes you... No, but the thing is, it seems as if, okay, it's a little bit more commonplace and more accepting now that we have characters on TV, in movies, or actors and actresses that are out, they're gay, and everyone's embracing that. So to me, it's like, well, okay, you have another character that happens to be gay. Right.
There's a difference between people. It's almost, and this is, I don't know if I'm playing devil's advocate here, but it's almost as if it's being shoved down our throats. And I don't care. Listen, I've worked with gay people. I'm in the fashion business in real life.
Right. We work with dresses, so
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in the
business
of making women happy, but so it doesn't bother me. I just don't like the way it's being crammed down our throats now, and we're being forced into it. But I guess we can leave that for a different discussion. But I don't. As far as in film, who cares?
Right.
Just who you putting in. As long as you're playing the role well, it really doesn't matter who you are.
Right. Or in this case, I mean, is the change so significant that it's going to add a different context to the character? Like, oh, now that all makes explains his nature, and you see this character in a new way, or you can tell stories now in a different light. Okay, if that's the goal is to change that, fine. But in all fairness, and I'm not sure how much you're up to the news about what Disney wants to do is to cancel certain titles like the Fantastic Four, X-Men, because those movie titles are not under Disney's control; they're under Sony.
So they're not gay enough.
Right. So they're not going to promote their movies with their product.
Oh,
so I'm like,
gosh.
what's the point then if you're going to kill off those characters or the whole series in a couple of months? So it's just like, why even bother? At this late game, why even bother doing this for this character? I mean, great, you're doing this now, fine, but it's what they're looking long term. That series, the X-Men are going to be gone soon. We're not going to see X-Men for a very long time. Not until Disney gets the rights back, and that's probably never going to happen. So, I don't know. I just think it's a big hoopla about nothing.
So,
you know?
there isn't... no one writes... There isn't anything new coming out for X-Men in the comic world, right?
No, well, there still is. For right now, there still are X-Men comic books, but it will be killed off, just like Wolverine was killed off. But with Wolverine, because he's part of the X-Men, that character is going to be kind of like put on the shelves for a very long time. So we're not going to see him for a while. Fantastic Four.
Which is what Disney does to all their movies anyway.
All right, so, kind of we're going to put it back in the vault, but take it out for a limited time only, so you can get the gold edition or the platinum, and then what's off?
Hey, an extra $10, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms I don't want to get into, so, yeah. So, all right, so let's get into the big topic that, the reason why I got you to do this podcast, because I really wanted to pick your brains about the whole DLC stuff. So, tell me about the DLC. I mean, you're the one that brought it to my attention.
What DLC is, it's download content. And every game that's coming out now, I mean, all the big titles, Evolve, even the Battlefield and Call of Duty. I mean, everything has downloadable maps, downloadable content. You're paying $60 for a game out of the box. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I can understand that you want to sell some extra maps here and there, but what's killing me is they're forcing you to enjoy the game fully. You can't just buy a game like you used to buy a cartridge, and you pop the cartridge in, and that's the game. You know what I'm saying? Right. You open up everything you want to open up, and the further you progress, the more Easter eggs you open up, or whatever. Now they're selling you Easter eggs and all this other stuff on the side and making me pay twice for a game. Why are you doing this? Why? Right. EA is notorious for this. I mean, it's gotten so bad that even, you have Forza with me. At least they're nice enough to sometimes, like, they release that new
the Fast and
Furious for free.
Right. Which is great.
You have to, because people are you're pissing people off already. I mean, I want to earn the cars that I open up. Mortal Kombat. I just purchased Mortal Kombat 10. It's an awesome game, man. But I remember the days when I used to fight to the end of a battle so that I can open up the next character. You know what I'm saying? And now you want to kind of sell it to me, and I can't earn my way to it. It's stop the double dipping, man. The double dipping has gotten ridiculous. I'm an avid gamer, and I usually buy all this shit. That's what kills me, is that they know I want it. They know I'm excited for a game. They know I'm excited for an Evolve or a Titanfall and just, dude, it's everything. If a game is free and then they sell you shit, like what the mobile phones do, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's understandable. You know what I'm saying? Pay to win, sure, okay, whatever. Here's my dollar fruity. What's it called again? Candy Crush. I can't tell you how much money
Fruity
I spent
Pebbles.
on Candy Crush. Holy shit!
Really?
Oh my God, you don't understand. I gave up with it because it's like I got like maybe level 3 something. I don't even know. Whatever. So I must have spent a good $25 on a stupid game.
Wow.
But it's getting to the point where it's ridiculous. I don't know how you feel about it, but.
Well, before I chime in, let me ask this question. Is it about the price? Is that a problem?
No, because even if it's 99 cents, well, okay, that would help. That would alleviate it and not make it seem like you're so freaking money hungry, you corporate pigs, you know what I'm saying? But, you shouldn't be charging me. I long for the days. Earlier we were talking about when we picked up a game and played it, and that was the game. That's what I want, man. If you want to charge me a little bit more off the top, all right, so be it. The games go up to $70, an extra $10 or whatever. I don't want to do that either because I think they're overpriced anyway. And which is another thing. Why, if I've been buying games digitally lately, and why am I paying full price when I don't have a packaging? I don't have an instruction manual. I don't have any plastic. I don't have anything on this at all that that justifies a full price tag. Why can't I pay $20 less for a digital copy?
Excellent point. That definitely does work. I totally agree on that. Now, my thing, because I'm not a gamer, I usually wait, and I talked about this before in the past shows, for the invisible hand to come in and to lower the price of whatever it is that I want to purchase. Because the initial demand is down, and later on, those companies that made $60 per DVD or per game have to now bundle it with other games to make it more attractive and still have to, they'll take a loss, but they'll try to move product. I come in when they're selling it for dirt cheap, like for $5, and I play that game, a couple of times and then I'm done. So to me, I don't want to spend that kind of money up front and then be like you, and then, like, if there's something that I have to buy in order for me to continue that game, I'm going to be pissed. Whereas, if they bundle that later on to get my attention, that's one thing, but the initial to do that, I think that's screwed up.
No, I agree, and that's why, to be honest with you, PC gaming is having a strong comeback right now because these new systems came out, these next-gen systems that haven't really done what they're supposed to do. Oh my gosh, I need to take this call. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm like, honey, I'm on the thing right now. I'm sorry. All right, so
I need a French fry. Go ahead.
So basically, okay. So PC gaming now is the only thing. Again, it's a much more expensive medium, because these graphics cards like the GTX 980, $500 just for a graphics card. You know what I'm saying? You can't do the same things. You can't do what I can do on my PC. You can't do it on your laptop. It's just not going to happen. So the consoles have made it so that it's easier. It's an easier interface because everything's combined and it's all in one. But still, the prices, they're not able to drop it down. So what the PC market has done now is they have something called Steam, and you can buy $5 digital games. And on your PC, I have 5 terabytes of space on my hard drive. I could put tons of crap on this if I wanted to. And they have games anywhere from 99 cents to full price, $59.99. Which again, when a game first comes out, I understand. You know what I'm saying? You're going to charge full price.
You can maximize the profits, right?
Exactly. But it actually drops quicker on PC gaming than it does with the console. So I'm thinking going forward, I'm not going to make any real big purchases for my gaming systems right now because the last purchase I made was Mortal Kombat 10 because I just had to. I love Mortal Kombat. I'm a fan. And it's the type of thing that if they continue doing what they're doing and being as greedy as they do, more and more people are going to gravitate towards PC gaming. And now that virtual reality's out, the Oculus Rift, and all this other stuff, it's a whole new level of gaming coming out that you're really not going to have with the consoles. You will because, like, you have the Project Morpheus coming out for PS4 and then the Windows HoloLens coming out from Microsoft. So, they are delving into that as well, but it's never going to be as powerful as what you can get out of a PC. So I'm just saying more people should start playing PC games again. Everything you can do on the consoles. I have my Xbox controller on here so I can use my, that used to be the excuse. I can't, I don't want to watch it on a little screen. Well, guess what? Now you can hook it up to your bigger screen with an HDMI cable. You know what I'm saying? You don't lose any resolution. It looks great. And there's no slowdown as long as you have a good graphics card. Again, it's a more expensive way of getting into it, but I think for the long haul, you save money because you're not spending all these ridiculous amounts of money for games. And, of course, they have DLC too, but that's something that unless we put our foot down, it's going to keep happening. Guys, stop buying these games. Stop buying the season passes. Stop. And then they'll stop charging. If you're giving them a chance to charge you, they're going to charge you out the ass. And that's my advice. I think we should just stop buying the DLC. Listen, I want to play as Jason Voorhees so bad. But I'm not spending $19.99 for a freaking combat pack so I can play as that character. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Which, when you said that, and my question is to you, now, is that character critical to you to continue playing that game, or is this just a simple add-on, I can play that character?
No, it's not. Because the game is not designed to be that kind of game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a story mode. You play through the story mode, and then the other stuff is online. Of course, maybe some of the characters might have a better edge online than they would with, versus a regular character, which it doesn't matter because everyone fucking picks Scorpion anyway. But that's besides the point.
Finish him!
Exactly. No, get over here.
Oh, yeah, that's finish him.
Pulls the chain out or whatever. But yeah, it's not worth it in the long run, and I'm not going to do it. I'll watch a million YouTube videos and see how cool the character is, and I won't be able to play as him. Who cares? So what? Goodbye.
Now, do you think there's going to be a time in which we are able to do like what they did with Napster, in which you have audio files that you can download, that you can do that with those digital characters? That someone puts it out there?
You know what? But that's stealing. You're stealing.
Yeah.
I understand that they're stealing from us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what everybody's answer is. Well, I'm going to steal from you. You know, but I don't believe in that because I think that all that does is it drives prices higher, and it gives them the excuse to charge extra for games and stuff like that. So, you know, to be able to download the character, like, I don't know how you're exactly trying to say it, but to me it sounds like, you know, through one of these kind of torrent sites or whatever, and load up the character like that. Sure, I'm sure it's out there already. I haven't looked for it because, honestly, like I said, that's not something that I'm interested in doing. But it is out there. I'm sure it is.
Right. No, the reason why I bring that up is because of Napster, you know, things like iTunes came out, and you have other music services that kind of made things more affordable. So you weren't going to be ripped off by whoever is going to be selling your product at such a high rate. I mean, the whole reason why Napster existed because, you know what? Why bother if I have the digital file and pay this high price? Like you just said, why am I paying the higher price for a digital product when I don't have any packaging that will justify the cost of? It's like you buying it in the store. So what's the point? So I think they have to realize, just like with digital rights management, when it did with ebooks, when you make things so difficult for the consumer to enjoy the product at an unfair price, you're going to get people who are going to take matters in their own hands and figure out a way how to make it work for them, kind of like, you know, jailbreaking a device or whatever it is. So it's something that they have to listen to the consumers, which was a perfect example with the Xbox One. When it first was being proposed that we're going to have digital games that can only be played on your system specifically, and it was no way to share this with anyone else.
When the word got out of that, I was shocked. I was so shocked. And I mean, they 360 that. I mean, that they did a 180 on that like so fast. Because how can you do that? Especially when the competition is doing everything right. You know what I'm saying?
PlayStation 4 did that quick little video. Here's my game. I'm lending it to you physically. It was simple as that. And it was brilliant. And yet Xbox was like, how can you do this? You're really locking in people to certain things that they don't want to do.
And that, honestly, that's one of the main reasons why people in general gravitated more towards the PS4 initially. I mean, now, like I said, everything's different, and it's actually a great system now, and it's a little bit cheaper to buy into, and but it's too little too late, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's Now I think what are we at? Almost 20 million PS4 sold versus maybe 10 or 11 I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but I'm sure it's somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the third quarter for Xbox so far it's been kind of down for Microsoft. So Microsoft is not really making a killing of it, but it's not either doing bad business either. So, I mean, it is thriving, but not killing like PS4 did. So,
well, listen, the PS3, all the systems lose money initially anyway. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not now with the PS4. They actually made a little money this time around because they were firm with their prices, but Xbox was all over the place, you know?
No, I know. But honestly, this is Sony, so they need all the money they can get right now.
Yeah, they're brokosauruses, please.
Because of many things, namely Spider-Man 2, which is horrendous, but whatever. I haven't seen it yet, so.
Really?
My co-host did. And I'm like,
let me guess, he liked it.
He broke down and watched it. And I'm like, why even bother? Because we know how bad it was going to be. So I'm like, fine. I'm going to up the game. I don't know if you saw the commercial lately. Wendy's is introducing these ghost chili fries.
Right.
Ghost chilies are the hottest thing on the planet.
Right.
So I'm going to eat a basket or whatever size of ghost chili fries while watching The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and record myself on a podcast and see which is going to be worse. The ghost chili fries or watching Spider-Man 2. Which is the first thing I'm going to do? Go to the bathroom or turn off the TV? That's what idea. I think I want to see how that works. So
that's a great idea. Holy shit. I like that.
Because honestly, I think the ghost chilies might be okay.
It might be okay. Oh man.
So I may have some kind of internal bleeding, but I'll be fine.
Yeah,
all right.
I was suffering through that, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So, if anything, let's end on this note: is that when the consumer has a certain trust in the product, they will give you their money. Right. When they don't feel they're being treated right or being treated correctly with prices, they're going to go to other options. And like you said, PCs are another option for people to go to because that was down for a while. And honestly, after the Nintendo 64, the PC, the whole market of video games was down the tubes for all we know. Right. And that was resurrected. So, I think we're in a golden age still of still even better technology, like you were talking about the Oculus coming out. So I really want to see this technology to go forward and people to get excited about that because we can only benefit down the road when technology advances gameplay to that point. But people have to be taking consideration of their needs and desires and their wants, and they want to pay for a fair price and not to be ripped off. So. Right,
but we have to take the stand. If you keep buying shit, they are going to keep doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The when they start losing sales and start realizing, okay, people are... Listen, I'm done with Call of Duty. I haven't played a Call of Duty game. I've missed 2 of them already because it's just not my... first of all, you come out, as soon as you pop out, you're dead. Boom. You're dead. Boom. Right. It's not fun. It's not fun, right. You know what I'm saying? And then so I can get a better gun, so I might have a chance to beat you. You're going to sell it to me for $7.99 or whatever the hell you want to sell it for. So, whatever.
No, sorry.
Just don't buy it, baby. That's it.
There you go. All right. So I think for the most part, this ends our podcast, finally. Because we were having technical issues all day, but we finally got this podcast recorded. So hopefully everyone who's listening to this podcast is enjoying themselves and listening to my cousin who has a good opinion on the whole DLC opinion. And I would love to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think about anything that we talked about. You can email me, or us, I should say, at monsterscifishow@gmail.com. You can find the Facebook page on Facebook, as well as the Twitter page. We have that as with the Monster Sci-Fi Show, but spelled with the Scifi way. So again, I'm still doing more podcasts each week. I want to do even better podcasts, but I need to hear from all of you. So just take a moment, let me know what you think, and I can only get better with your help.
And real quick, if you guys want to play any games with me on Xbox One, I am Rilzio, Rilzio, and on the PS4, I'm Grimlo, Grimlo. So add me to your friend list. We'll play some games, yo.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I do play games. Not as much, but you can find me on Xbox One.
Playing with yourself does not count.
It does on Xbox One. I got a lot of good points.
Well, you can be hands-free on Xbox One, so.
You should see how I do it with Kinect. Ooh. Ooh.
You got to see me play Disney's Fantasia.
But my handle is Funky Grimlock, which why no one took it, I don't know why, but that's mine, because I like Grimlock, and why not be funky with it?
Exactly, no doubt.
That sounds really white. Be funky with Grimlock. All right, so Ralph, thank you really so much for being on this podcast, man.
You got it, man. Anytime, man. Shout out to Headroom Peoples. We will be back soon, I promise. We're just getting things in the works, and as soon as we get it, hopefully I can be on your podcast again and give myself some plugs when I got my thing going, and it was a blast. I really had a great time.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And again, you live in New York, I live in Florida, and it's been ages since I've seen you, but at least we can still connect with the podcast and still play on games with the Xbox. So that's all I care about right now. So, all right. So on that note, guys, thank you very much. Have a good night. Stay well. Stay well.
It's a big monster sci-fi kiss. Mwah.
Oh my God! Don't do that. Do that crap on your own show. So, thank you again for listening to the Monster Sci-Fi Show. Sci-fi from a certain point of view. Good night, folks.